of the man who put his hands on that little girl for allegedly bullying his son? If you haven't, pause the video and go look it up. I'm gonna give you a quick rundown and give you my opinion because I am a father. This man walks up to this young girl. He's holding his little boy's hand. Now this young lady is surrounded by other people. He confronts her for allegedly bullying his son. There's an exchange made back and forth, and at some point this young girl bends down, puts her hands on her knees to say something to his little boy. And when I tell you, he smacked the fire out of this young girl. They're screaming, call the police, you're going to jail. And the people in the comments have been mixed review. Well, you can't do that. You don't put your hands on another person's child. You're going to jail. While other people are like, great job, Dad. Way to stand on business for your kid. And I'm telling you right now, as a parent, when it comes to my kids, these hands is rated E for everybody, and they do not exclude children. I will fight your child over mine.
Reset TV, what's happening? It's gravitating away. Listen, man, I have some mixed feelings about this viral video of a father slapping a young girl who was bullying his much younger son. I do not advocate violence in any way, shape, or form unless under extreme conditions. Now, in saying that, who are we to tell that father this was not an extreme condition? Before I carry on with my commentary, I want y'all to check out the video. I'm sure most of you have watched it, but let's check it out real quick.
Oh no, he can do whatever. You can't say that to my son. You can't say. You can't say that one to my son, okay?
Okay, bye-bye.
Now, watching this video, look, the first thing that I know most people will react to is the father, i.e. being a grown man, slapping not just necessarily a child, but the female child. And I know how this goes. I can see the gaslighting. I can see the leaning on protecting women. I get it.
Father showed up to a school to talk to a little girl who was bullying his son. Now, I understand that children can be cruel. I understand that bullying is never okay. And as a child, I'm sure that they feel it even more because this is their whole world. So when kids get bullied, it affects them more than it might affect an adult because they're just not mature to handle it. Again, I am not for bullying. Bullying is never okay. That being said, it is never okay. It is never even close to acceptable for a grown man, let me say that again, for a grown man to put his hands on a child.
But point A is always skipped before point B is addressed. So you get the reactions of people watching the slap. But there were so many things I saw that some people missed when they reacted to this, and some people, small segment, shout out to y'all, definitely understood. Now, you got some folks pointed out the obvious. This is a female, but she's much older than the younger boy. 2, there are people around who are older than the girl that got slapped, and they're basically condoning this, possibly even enabling it, laughing. Like, it's all fun and games, right? Until it's not. But that's when y'all want to chime in with your opinions. It almost reminds me when a girl is attacking, and this is not that same scenario, but the point of it is when a girl is attacking a man, whatever it is, she's hitting him, doing all type of stuff. It be men around and women around, but let's focus on the fact it be men around, they won't react. The minute that guy dares try to defend himself, everybody want to check the brother. But look, you can't be mad at the father and there's no other responsible adult around to stop all of this, right? Could have got on the young lady and say, hey, you out of line. Nope, they all laughed until father delivers a uppercut slap like no other.
This clip going around. So this father, he's holding the hand of his little kid, his son, who's probably like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old. And he approaches this girl, this teenage girl, she looks like she's maybe 13. She's been bullying his son. So he's telling her to knock it off, and she gives the father attitude. So how does he respond? He open hand uppercut smacks her across the face. I mean, I don't think he should have hit her, but these bullies have to understand parents are getting very protective of their children because children are dying over bullying.
It wasn't like a slap like, damn, he knocked somebody out, but just on that disciplinary side of things, it was one hell of a slap. And those of you, if you have a father or adult in your life that like to factory reset your ass, you remember those slaps. Well, that's what happened. And this is the other point I wanted to point out, and we can get up out of here. There's a racial element to it, and some of you probably don't care, but those of you trying to figure out what I'm saying, if you pay attention to that background, the young lady and most of the females around her who seems to be grown, they are of Middle Eastern Muslim descent. The man who slapped the young girl, he's clearly East African. Some people were saying he looks Somalian, Sudanese, Eritrean, Ethiopian. However you want to splice it, he's East African Muslim. And the East African Muslims of darker complexion have been getting the short end of the stick of this so-called Muslim unity. There's a lot of racism in all religions. What makes y'all think Muslims, you feel me, are out of that loop? If anything, they're probably the biggest, if you ask me. Oh yes, deeper than the colorist thing, what that girl was telling the young boy, I thought she was saying bye-bye. She was saying baba, a form of derogatory term in different ways and manners. And she, you can tell, was saying something much harsher beforehand because the father was asking her, don't call my son that and don't say those things.
Y'all, so I just watched a video of a guy slapping a little girl. Yeah, crazy. But not so crazy because I got two separate opinions, okay? So the situation was the guy, little boy, was being bullied. Now the little boy looked like he was maybe like 4, 5, 6, okay, between 4 and 6. The little boy was very little. And then the little girl looked like she was anywhere between 10 and maybe 14, right? So it sounded like the guy, it looked from the video because it was very short. The guy was like, hey, stop bullying him, or apologize to my son, whatever he was saying. You can tell that he was like, I don't know what he was, okay? Maybe like, okay. Anywho, he like apologized to my son. And the little girl, and there's a whole bunch of kids out there, and the little girl being disrespectful to him, talking something, okay, bye-bye. And like bent down to the little boy like she was about to be smart, and he slapped the shit out of her. Now, here's why I would not have been upset. Because if you teach your kids how not to be a bully and be disrespectful, then somebody else in the streets would not have to, period. And I know y'all gonna jump in the comments like, oh, you know, a man should never hit a little girl, or, you know, somebody should never hit somebody else's child. Now imagine she would have bullied that little boy to the point where he would have took his own life. Then what? Then what? Y'all would have been on that little girl ass like she shouldn't have been a bully. Da, 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 da. Teach your kids how not to be a bully. Just that simple. Like, it gotta stop at some point. Like, y'all parents gotta step in. We gotta get control of these kids.
The way she knelt down and was about to disrespect that young boy again in front of the father leads me to the speculation she does far more egregious things when dad was not around. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna side with dad on this one. Keep in mind, I understand the other side of the aisle. There are fathers, regardless if their daughter was right or wrong, watching a grown man do that, yeah. I don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out how that will end. But before you side with a father crashing out about his daughter getting slapped, I just want you to understand, if she's like that, 8 to 9 times out of 10, the father's worse or the mother's worse, because that little girl learned this type of audacious behavior from her parents, because that's an adult telling you, don't talk like that to my son. Not only did she double down, she looked like she kneeled down literally and was about to deliver some more harsh words. And dad was like, you know what? I got you. So parents, discipline your kids, man. Treat them better. I don't care what you do. Just don't be the one to think I care after you point out point B versus point A when your child gets to face the consequences outside of you doing what you were supposed to do. Don't be mad and don't expect me to cry you a river. While I don't necessarily agree with the child getting slapped, I will say this. she's gonna learn consequences for a lifetime. What say y'all in the comment section? This is Gravitating Away on Reset TV, and homegirl got a reset.